Hey, what's up, guys? Coming to you from the beach once again, right? So I want to talk real quick about my main takeaways from this trip. Now, for those of you who've been watching my videos the last couple months, they've had a very introspective tone. I've talked about manifestation. I've been talking more about things that have been happening in my life or in the past that maybe many of you guys wouldn't know. I'm trying to communicate more with my audience directly, whoever is watching, and just to share what's actually going on with me, because you see, one of the things for me over the years, which has been tricky, has been finding audience or whatever, right? I've made hundreds of videos. I've traveled to a bunch of countries and made videos, but never with the intention of raw virality. My journey on YouTube started at the point when that wasn't even a thing, going viral, or not really. And my reason for creating videos, my reason for documenting stuff has always been the same. I've been documenting stuff in writing for a long time, in pictures for a long time, and then I went to video. So I was always documenting, whether I was journaling as a teenager, whether I was writing blog posts on WordPress a couple years back, or when I started my YouTube channel a long time ago, right? I just always liked the idea of documentation, exploration, but I didn't always do it. You get me? For various reasons, One, either you don't believe you can do it, or two, you have physical limitations to doing it, right? So over the last 2-3 years, there have been some massive challenges. So I went completely dark. So I wasn't posting on IG, I wasn't posting on YouTube. I basically stopped YouTube for a while in 2019. I just couldn't bother. But the thing is that, when you can do something and you can do it, you want to continue. But because it is so complicated and complex, growing audience, impacting people, as a regular human being, it is not easy to put in so much work at anything and not see it reach somewhere. When I say somewhere, I don't mean you need 6 million subscribers. But let's say you want to go from 2,500 like I have to 100, or 2,500 to 25,000, or whatever, right? You want to see it you're going somewhere. You want to see that what you're doing is reaching someone. You feel me? And that's why after a while I just stopped. Not because I couldn't do it, not because it wasn't enjoyable, but there were all these other challenges, It took a lot for me to start making these videos again. And it wasn't feeling like I failed or anything. You understand? A lot of health stuff, a lot of physical stuff, a lot of mental stuff. So it took a lot for me to even take this trip. It took me reaching a kind of boiling point where I was just I have to go. And I've been using this camera that I have, which is the Sony FDR-X3000, which is what we call a journeyman camera. And I said, well, I'm on a journey, let me use this journeyman camera to the fullest. And what I've learned the last 7 days being here, relaxing, being introspective, making videos I've never made before. Because first of all, these are the longest videos I've ever made in my whole YouTube career. I've never uploaded a 57-minute video, 45-minute video, never done that. I've never spoken as much as I have about my life and just stuff as I have in the last 7 days, right? And I've been pretty adventurous, not more than usual. Climbing the cliffs, if you see that video where I'm climbing some cliffs, I think that's pretty adventurous. But, my main thing I took away from this trip right now is that, number one, you can change your state really quickly, right? It doesn't take a lot to change your state. If you have the resources, you can go anywhere you want to go, right? It took me 5 minutes to decide to come here, just 5 minutes. So my brethren recommended the place I'm staying. I went on Nuts for the Express, bought a ticket, booked the place. The next day in the morning, I was on my way here. It's that simple. And sometimes it's like that with a flight too. If I want to go to Colombia, it's gonna cost about 500 or 600 US. So if you have 500 or 600 US, you can go to Colombia tomorrow. I could go to Colombia tomorrow, right? But I don't really want to go to Colombia right now. But what I'm saying is that sometimes being in motion activates other things in your body and your brain. You get me? So me being here has kept me in motion. Every day, you know, I'm walking all these miles from where I am to town. I'm coming to the beach. I'm hopping into cabs and taxis. You know, I'm talking to new people I've never met before. And I'm also spending a lot of time being introspective within myself, meditating, thinking about the near future, thinking about my next moves. And I'm making videos of the kinds I've never made before, right? So what I've learned from this trip is that my desire to do the things I want to do is perfectly normal, right? I was beating myself up for a long time about YouTube and other things I've done because I've written books, I've started a clothing line, I've done videography. It's all this crazy stuff I've done, and I keep thinking I wasn't making an impact, right? And it's tough to have a brain like mine and think you're not making an impact, you know, over time. I'm not talking, because I see some YouTubers like, I started YouTube in 2020 and I only have 35,000 subscribers, and I was like, what? You want to know when I started YouTube? But it's interesting, you get me? Because we all live our lives in our own ways, and my mission right now is really just to enjoy and experience my true purpose. You get me? And I don't know if my true purpose has something to do with video, but I'm always drawn to both exploration and documentation of it, right? That's what I'm always drawn to. I'm always trying to do that. And I'm always trying to do it on a big level. You know what I mean? Like, I'd love to go back to Southeast Asia right now, or Japan, for like a couple months, study Japanese, eat the food, hang out with the people, you know? But there's obviously a cost for that, right? But these are the things that I fantasize about doing. You get me? On top of other things. Not just fantasizing like, oh, it'd be so great if I could go to Japan. No, I lived there for 2 years, right? But when I was living there, I didn't feel like I was doing what I was meant to be doing, which is teaching English, right? I was functionally there, like you go to work and you teach the kids and you come back home, but I wasn't happy at all, you know? What I really wanted to be doing was learning Japanese, making content, traveling around, and enjoying the country. And that was a long time ago. But no, after the last couple of days, I'm getting back into the rhythm of understanding what that is, which is getting into the rhythm of your purpose means trying to do it every day until it feels normal to be trying to do it. Does that make sense? So every day I wake up, I just wanted to talk about my takeaways from this trip. And what's fascinating, right? Because I've tried recording this a few times, and sometimes you have to kind of work up your narrative. Is that what I think the first thing is that this trip has given me is it reminds me that anytime you're working towards your larger purpose, whether it's making videos or doing a business or something, you have to wake up every day and step into your purpose, like take steps towards it. So since I've been here every day, I've been making a video every day, and every day I do similar things. You know, I wake up, I meditate, then I walk into town and I just try and figure out what I'm doing for the day. The main goal is relaxation, but there's a rhythm that develops after a while. You know, day one, day two, I was like looking around like, oh, you know, people see me with the camera and whatever. And then after like 3 days, you don't care. And after 5 days, you just, anywhere you are, blah, blah, you start talking, right? And it's very important because when you look at YouTube or you look at things that people do, you know, we're all searching for opportunity, right? And for me, I've always just been a person who likes to document things. I've been writing in journals since I was a teenager. I have like 8 journals. When I stopped using journals, I went to writing on WordPress. So I have hundreds of blog posts on WordPress, right, that I wrote over the years. And then I transitioned from WordPress to a mixture of blogging and taking photos. That's how my photography journey started. And then when I went to Japan in 2009, I started doing videos with a little power shot camera. And that was the start of my YouTube journey, right? And I started YouTube at that time before, before the Casey Neistats were big, and before it was what it is today, where, a YouTuber can just come and they do XYZ and they just blow up, right? It was very different. And everything was kind of pure in terms of intention. I didn't have anybody to look up to when I came onto YouTube. Like, I was the only Jamaican doing travel videos in the world, probably, when I think about it, on planet Earth. So I'm not looking at the other Jamaican or the other person or the other influencer who's done it. Like, I didn't really have any reference. I just did it myself, right? So that's what happens when you're ahead of the curve. There is no reference point other than yourself. That's the first thing, right? So as time passed, I realized that I would love to do more travel videography and travel stuff and whatever, you know what I mean? But it's not that easy. You can't just pick up and travel. Jamaicans can't just fly to Europe like that. People are always asking me, are you in Jamaica? I'm like, yo, I live in Jamaica, And as time passed over the years, I realized that, I was trying different things. I was writing books. I was doing a lot of photography at one point. I was in content creation for people at one point. And in addition to like creative direction and other things. So I always wasn't hardcore YouTube. You get me? Because even when I look back on it, the Jamaican infrastructure at the time, 10 years ago, wasn't even like YouTube ready, really. People were watching YouTube and they were watching vlogs. But in terms of Jamaican YouTubers, you didn't really have any. Because mobile data wasn't really that well set up yet. And there wasn't any brand awareness as much around it. So brands were not looking for YouTubers or influencers. It's really when Instagram and those kind of things got big in Jamaica that kicked off the influencer thing, which then trickled down to YouTube, which has been now a thing in Jamaica for like the last 5 years, right? 5 years or less. So that's just to give you guys some context of the environment I live in, right? Because people come, used to look at my channel and they're like, yo, you travel the world and this. And I'm like, dude, I travel to some places, but I'm not doing it as consistently as some of these superhumans of YouTube who are just traveling for 8-9 months at a time. No, let's talk about the trip I went around the world, right? So after I came from Bangkok in 2019, which was an amazing trip, like it took a lot to just create and manifest everything for that. After I came back from Bangkok in 2019, I said to myself, I was very disappointed, first of all, right? I was very disappointed because, and I'm just being honest, I was disappointed because I had my chance. I said, I'm traveling with a purpose, and I'm going to make videos every single day documenting the journey. I'm going to release these videos on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Instagram, right? And every day I'm going to try and communicate with people and tell everybody exactly what I'm doing. So I made 40 videos in 40 days, in a foreign country with a mission. Every day is because I was shooting a music video. Every day's topic was around a mission I was trying to achieve. The videos were edited nicely. The content is amazing. It's interesting. It's different. And it really got like crickets on YouTube. 50 views, 40 views. And I was so burnt out when I came back from Jamaica, right? And, I'd spent all my money. I'd used up all my energy. I really fought to make everything happen. And then when I came back to Jamaica, I was just like, for 6 weeks I was wiped out. And I just disappeared. And no one even said anything to me. Which meant that no one was really watching. So that's tough. Because like some people, they have a very engaged audience. They disappear for like 3 weeks. People say, hey, where are you? I disappeared for 6 weeks after making videos every single day. And no one messaged me saying, yo, what's up? You just stopped making videos. Is everything okay? So that was a wake-up call on many levels. And I was just disappointed in myself because I'm like, man, I'm tired of putting out so much energy and nothing comes from it, right? Because I wasn't trying to blow up by making these videos. I was trying to grow organically. I was trying to introduce myself to new audiences I was trying to make interesting content as a Jamaican traveling to other countries, right? Every day, you know, following the routines, interesting thumbnail, interesting titles, the whole Shazam, right? But I didn't trigger anything in this whatever algorithm I have, right? So, and then I got this bad injury and I was in pain for a very long time, right? Now, when I look back on it, am I still recording? Yes, I am. Now, when I look back on it, so I pivoted in my mind, right? So the first thing I did was pivot. And I said, all right, what if I can do Bangkok in multiple countries? Meaning, what if I say, okay, I'm going to shoot 4 music videos in 4 countries and just try and duplicate what I did in Bangkok. So I'd have a mission, I'd have this purpose, I've been doing it in multiple countries, I've been making videos every day, but then I'd blast the hell out of it. I'll tell the world I'm traveling to do these things, right? So that was going to be my mission. No. And I said I want to manifest it. Got an email, and the email says, do you want $5,000 to travel the world? And I was like, hell yeah. And it was this company called Airtrex, and they had this travel the world competition where you enter like a 3-minute video explaining why you want to travel the world, and then they would give you a ticket worth $3,500 to travel the world and like $1,500 towards your journey, right? So I entered the competition, and as soon as I entered the video, I said to my sister, you know, I'm not saying I'm number 1, but I'm top 2. I was that confident, right? Long story short, I won the whole thing, right? Because I was so deep into my storytelling and video essay, you know, after going to Bangkok and making so many videos, I could just dive into making like video essays, and I knew I won. And I won the trip around the world, but then the world shut down. So, you know, I'd been looking for my chance for like over a decade, and I finally got my chance. Because with this ticket, I could have gone to like, you know, you go to Europe, Asia, India, like you just design it and you could go anywhere. So I was gonna try and go to like 20 countries. I had it all mapped out. But then, you know, the news started talking about, you know, what was going on in 2020, and I was like, ooh, this looks serious. You know, because I remember when Ebola was a thing and then it didn't reach anywhere. But this, I was like, oh man, they're going hard. Media was going crazy, and I was like, this is not gonna stop. And I lost my trip. So in my mind, I said to myself, I felt glad I won a trip around the world. And in my heart, I said, I got my around the world trip. But I never got to take it. You understand? I never got to fully demonstrate to the world who Marcus Bird is in a seamless transition of experiences and an overall mission that I could say, yo, you guys come with me on this mission, right? So being here reminds me of that in a sense, because the round the world trip, or you know, the trekking through South America or whatever is you're trying to do, it's all designed to communicate with the people that are watching your videos, right? People don't understand how much effort this takes. It's hard to travel and travel for 24 hours, make a video while you're traveling. As you land, you edit it, and you keep going. It takes a lot of work, right? It is not easy to make videos like this just because you want views. You would have stopped a long time ago if you got no views, right? Just making that clear. So the point of this video and what I'm telling you guys about the round the world trip is that sometimes when you get the chance, it's like the rug is pulled out from under you, right? And it makes you ask why, you know? Because I'm just like, man, you know, like for a decade I wanted this opportunity and it's gone. And I've seen other opportunities come and go, but then, you know, they don't work out. And in your mind, you're like, I'm not worth it. Or maybe it's not my time, or maybe it's not meant to be, or, you know, you say all these things to yourself, right? By the end of the day, I'm not the kind of person who is interested in burning myself out, like, to the point of self-destruction, right? I've done that before, like doing too much. But every time I look there. You see that right there? Every time I look out to the horizon, I just think of the possibilities of what could be, you know? And we as human beings know that there's so much that we can do, right? I'm a Jamaican who has a travel bug, you know, has experience making videos, can create videos, you know, very personable, you know what I'm saying? Love to travel, love people, love the journey, I have the stamina for it. But I'm just like, did I get my chance? You know? And I don't know if I'm gonna do like short trips in the future, trying to do bigger trips, like, all right, let me try and do like a month in South America, come back, you know? Before something else crazy happens and the world shuts down again, you know? So I'm just here thinking about that. And that round the world trip was a confirmation that I already knew in my brain that I'm worth it. You understand? But in this world that we live in, we don't always have the resources to just pick up and go like that. You know what I mean? I can't just pick up and go to Japan right now. Like, you know, there's planning and there's you know, resources needed and but you want it deep in your heart, you know? And I was watching this video last night, Esther Hicks video, and they were saying you need to want things with hope and love, not with need and desire. Like, because need is like, when you say you want something so badly, there's a negative attachment to it. So even though you want something badly, you need more love and hope towards it. You need, like, you know? And that's what I'm trying to channel in my life right now. You know what I mean? I'm here completely alone, just doing my thing by myself. But I know that when I turn on Marcus Bird's energy, Marcus Bird can talk to anybody, attract anybody in the world. Just look back on my videos, right? There are nights where, night after night, I'm leaving wherever I am with like 8 people I just met, and we're going somewhere else, all partying, all having fun. When Marcus Bird turns on, that light bulb attracts a lot, you know? But as I've been in this introspective place, especially after all the health stuff I've gone through, you know, I'm just like, yo, we have this one life, man. I just want to live it. I just want to live my life, you know? And my mission right now is to ensure that I'm stepping towards that, you know? Sometimes I don't know how it's going to happen. Sometimes I don't know how it's going to play out, you know? Like I said, I won this round the world trip ticket at the wrong time, and the company doesn't exist anymore because it didn't survive that period of time. So, you know, there's always so much to prove, but we're gonna make it. You don't know.